Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, we are going to start building out our first React application. And the application is going to be this Monsters Rolodex project. What this project is, it's a single page application React app. And what it lists is a bunch of these different monsters. You can also see the monsters and actually filter them using the search bar. So let's say, for example, we wanted to filter for Clementine as we start typing. We will see that we will start filtering out any monster that does not have a name where it matches what we typed in the string. It's a very simple application, but it'll teach us a lot about how React works and how React application is structured. Getting started with a React application might seem very complicated because there's a lot of files that we would typically have to come up with and write from scratch if we wanted to actually write out an application in React. However, luckily for us, Facebook has actually created a tool that makes this significantly easier. And this tool is called Create React App. Create React App is pretty much just a tool that you can run inside of your command line. And what it will do for you is it will scaffold out a React project, a very bare bones React project. And scaffolding just means that it will set up all of the necessary files and folders and then link them appropriately so that you can get started with a React application. And that's what we're going to use to really understand how it works. Here inside of React.js's own documentation on Create React App, you'll see that it's very simple. It says, of course, that it is a comfortable environment for learning React and is the best way to start building a new single-page application. So we're going to deep dive into what this means, all of the different files and the different setups that it provides for you. And then we're going to deep dive into how we can do this without Create React App later in the course. So we're going to fully understand how all of this works under the hood. But for now, we're just going to leverage it so that it makes our lives easier so we can get started with our first React application. So here you'll see what it says is that we want to run this command, NPX create React app, and then the name of the application that we want to call. So what it means is just that when it builds it for us, it will build it into a folder, and we want to give it some kind of name. So here, let's go into our terminal, and we're going to type exactly what it said, NPX create React app, and then the name of our folder, which it's going to actually put all of the files into that represents our project. So I'm just going to call it Monsters Rolodex right here. Now what's happening is that you will see that NPX is actually downloading the package and the latest version of Create React App in order to actually help us scaffold out this Monsters Rolodex project. Scaffold being actually generating, again, the files and folders required for our application to actually work. So this is really handy. But in this process, you might be wondering, what is NPX? What is Create React App? And let's take a little deep dive into all of these things while we're waiting for our project to be built. So I'm going to open a new tab. And what I'm also going to do is that I am going to show you NPM versus NPX, because that'll actually be the best way to understand what NPX does. And NPX is actually a tool that gets included with NPM version 5.2 and greater. So NPX is actually a tool that lives within NPM. So NPM, as we know, is Node Package Manager. These packages are just these different node-related libraries or files and folders that get created by different tool developers online that we can use to help us with our Node projects or JavaScript-based projects. What this means is that NPM is what we use to coordinate and also leverage these different packages that we download. Create React App is an example of one of these. It's just this tool that Facebook built that allows us to quickly and easily build out React applications. So we can do this with NPM and not NPX. The thing about NPM is that NPM is an installation as well as an executable environment. So what this means is that we can install directly Create React App and all of these different packages onto our local project. Local being this local folder I have, or we can install it globally on our computer. So if I do npm install and then the name, let's say Create React App, what this will do is it will install and download Create React App locally into this folder. So that means that anything inside of this folder can leverage Create React App. However, if I wanted to use Create React App in multiple projects, but I only wanted one version of it, because Create React App, as we know, is a package created by Facebook, and Facebook could be constantly updating it. So you might have numerous versions of Create React App in multiple different projects. But what if we want to always to leverage one version of it across our entire computer? Well, here it's very easy. We just say npm install -g, which means global. So install it globally and then create React App. So this is typically how we used to do it before NPX, meaning that what we had to do is we had to download down the latest version of Create React App if we wanted to use all of the latest features in order to build our React applications. So let me give you an example of what we can do with a very simple library, and it's called cowsay. So cowsay is a library that just draws out this cow that says whatever we pass it. So for example, if I wanted it globally again, what I do is npm install, or npm I, which is shorthand for install, -g, so globally make this available, and I want cowsay. So now it's going to download, again, as we know with npm, all of the appropriate files and install it globally. So what I can do now is I can say cowsay hello. And you'll see that it draws a little cow because I have this cowsay project globally installed, and it will just say the text that I passed it, which is hello. So if I wanted to see where I have this cowsay project, I could do npm list, which just lists out the location of a package. So if I say npm list cowsay, what I'm saying is that I want you to check the current folder for some package called cowsay. And when you see this, you'll see that it's empty. Of course it is. The reason why is we installed it globally. So if I wanted to check npm, again, list -g and then cowsay, now it's going to check the global location, which is your path location where we save all of our globally installed packages with npm. And now we say that, oh, there is a version of cowsay here, version 1.5.0. So here you can see that we have with npm, when we installed this library and then wanted to use it, we had to install it somewhere on our disk, our hard drive, our computer. This could be in our local project folder, or this could be globally on our computer. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to delete this cowsay project from our global list. So I'm going to say npm uninstall -g, because again, it's global, cowsay. So now this is going to get rid of it. You'll see that it says removed 41 packages. And again, if we just double check list -g cowsay, what we'll see is that it's empty. So this is exactly what we wanted. So now that we have this, let's understand what NPX does instead. So instead, I'm going to say NPX cowsay hello. And now if we run this, what we'll see is that we're still downloading the package cowsay because we don't have it, and it will execute it immediately. Before, when we did it with npm, remember, we downloaded it, and then we had to run cowsay and then call it. So here, what NPX does is it directly installs all of the required files for this package, and it executes it immediately. So what this means, though, is not all it is, just that it downloaded and it exited quickly? No. In fact, if we check npm list cowsay locally, we'll see that it's empty. If we check npm list -g cowsay, what we'll also see is that it's empty. So what this means is that NPX downloads the packages, the latest package for cowsay, so the latest version of it, and it executes it immediately, and then it deletes it from the disk. Now you might be wondering, why do we want to do this? Well, the main advantage is that, one, you don't have to clog up your environment or your disk with all of these different packages that you have to make sure that if you're running the latest version of it. Certain things like this, you might just want to use when you need it and make sure that when you use it, you're using the latest version. So the benefit here is that when you call NPX, you are going to ask for the latest version. Now, of course, you can specify with a argument at version. So you can say, oh, I want this exact version instead, and NPX will download that exact version. But if you don't pass that, what it'll do is it'll just download the latest version and then execute it and then delete it. So that's why it's super useful, because this way we don't have to think and manage the different packages that we're leveraging. And this is really useful for something like Create React App, because chances are you just want to use the Create React App library to start up a new React project when you need to. When you don't want to use it. And if we go back to our CRA folder where we were running our Create React App with NPX to get the latest folder, here we see that now it's done. We have our application called Monsters Rolodex, and we can see it right here. So let's CD into it. And what we're going to do is we are going to talk and break down about what got generated with Create React App in the next video. So here, once again, let me just go over quickly what we did. We used NPX to download the Create React App package, the latest version of it. We generated our React application, Monsters Rolodex, and then with NPX, automatically, it deleted Create React App so it doesn't take up any space on our computer. And now we have our Monsters Rolodex React project that Create React App has scaffolded for us, and we are going to break down what is inside. So with that, I'll see you in the next video.